We got a poll with a lot of bad numbers. Obama's popularity has gone down from 50% roughly to about 42%. But here's the most important number, in my opinion. This was just at the beginning of this year, in February, before the primary season began. Democrats, believe it or not, had a 49 to 37% advantage. So when asked generically, Democrats or Republicans, who do you want to control Congress? Democrats had a 12-point advantage. Today, what are we, about 6 months later? GOP now enjoys a 55 to 39 advantage. So if I'm doing the math right, that's a 16-point lead. Democrats go from a 12-point lead to a 16-point deficit. That's a 28-point swing in 6 months. That is very, very bad news. And I think a lot of that is the American people. First of all, of course, a lot of it is the demagoguery, et cetera, and Fox News driving a lot of this. Covered it a million times, and that is true. But also part of it is the American people being somewhat reasonable. And what do I mean by that? They wanted to give Obama a chance. They know Bush crashed the economy. When you still today, when you ask people in a poll who crashed the economy, they say George Bush overwhelmingly, right? But they want to give Obama a little bit of a chance to, to fix it. And they did. And now we're coming up to an election, and it's been nearly 2 years. And they look around and they go, is it fixed? Is it fixed? Nope. All right, I guess I'll go the other way. That's politics 101. And to us, it drives us crazy because we know if they go the other way, they're going to go off the cliff, right? Those are the guys that, in the famous analogy Obama uses, I think effectively and accurately, the ones who drove the ditch into the car in the first place. No, the ditch into the car. It's my usual dyslexia. The car into the ditch in the first place, right? So why would you do that? Now, here's a perfect example. Mitch McConnell, the head of the Republicans in the Senate, has a proposal. Finally, we have a proposal, right? It's disastrous. He says we should not only continue all the Bush tax cuts permanently on the income tax cut, but that we should drastically cut the estate tax as well. So cutting the estate tax would cost us $91 billion over the next 10 years, and that would go not to the richest 2% of the country. It would go to the richest 0.25% of the country. So there's another $91 billion hole in the budget. When you take all of McConnell's tax cuts, you know how much they equal? According to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, $3.9 trillion just over the next decade. Now, how the hell are you going to find $3.9 trillion to pay for all those tax cuts? You're not. He's just saying, who cares? Deficit? We don't give a flying F about the deficit. We never have. We've always been lying about it. No, we're just going to put a $4 trillion hole in the deficit. Okay, so now when they ask them, well, how are you going to pay for any of this? First of all, of course, the standard answer, we showed you about, 12 clips, 24 clips, where they say, oh, no, you don't have to pay for tax cuts. You see, that's special economic math. If you give tax cuts to the rich, you don't have to pay for it. Somehow the budget magically fixes itself? No, it doesn't, but who cares? We just borrow it. Oh, and if we run out of money later, we'll just cut your Social Security. And then we'll say, oh, the money's gone. Money's gone. What do you mean money's gone? Right? But he does have one specific proposal, and it involves freezing all spending, and are you shocked? And that would save us over the next decade $300 billion. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's about what? 7 or 8% of the size of the hole that he's going to create. So he creates a $4 trillion hole and plugs it with $300 billion by freezing all spending. Of course, not defense spending. Those guys still have to get rich. So, look, I'm telling you, man. In fact, not only am I telling you, but you should.
Thank you for anything.
Damn it. No, you should.
Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell Randy Gonzalez, I'm coming.
No, I'm not coming. They're coming. Okay. Seriously, tell Randy Gonzalez. If you're going to go vote for the Republicans as a protest vote of the Democrats, I know why you're doing it. But don't do it, man. As Ice Cube once presciently said, check yourself before you wreck yourself. These guys, if you thought the economy was bad now, if you thought the rich were well off but the rest of us were screwed now, wait till you put the Republicans in the majority. Disaster on top of disaster. One last note on it. 300 of the top economists in the country came out today and said, please don't try to balance the budget now. You have to do stimulus spending. You have to create jobs. If you create jobs, those people then have money to pay taxes. It balances the budget better. It accomplishes both goals. Get people back to work. The one mistake Roosevelt made in the Depression was he got convinced by the right-wingers to try to balance the budget. Now, you know me, if you watch this show, I'm a budget hawk. I want to balance the budget. But these guys are saying, not now, don't do it. And instead, of course, the Republicans come in, they're not going to balance the budget either. They're going to make it worse, but they are going to stop spending, and they're going to stop all programs that would hire new people. Oh! No new jobs, no new spending, nothing to stimulate the economy, just more tax cuts for the rich. If you vote Republican, either you're rich or you're mental.